Hey everybody, it's me, Mandy. I haven't really done any vlogging like I said I wanted to, so today I'm gonna start with the first vlogging video on the 7th day of my 31 days of battling depression. So today I'm just gonna talk to you and myself about Joaquin, about our journey to this point. Just everything up, up until now, what I'm thinking about, what I'm dealing with. Um, So, first off, for the people who don't know me, my name is Amanda Rivera, but I prefer Mandy. I'm 29, originally from Brooklyn, New York, and I live now in Baltimore with my mother and my son. Um, yeah, he wasn't planned, but nevertheless, is he a gift? Um, but after I got pregnant, I told my mom, and my mom was like, well, you have to move with me because my mom and I wanted to be together whenever, it came to the time of pregnancy and motherhood. So I moved down here and I've been here a year now, and I've been trying to just get into the flow of Baltimore, to becoming a resident, getting comfortable, digging in my heels, roots, all that. Trying to build a life for the both of us, because being in New York was extremely stressful. Um, would not recommend. But yeah, so his birthday is coming up on Halloween, my favorite day ever. So I'm very, very excited, looking forward to that. Been planning like crazy, just giddy with having my favorite day for two reasons. Um, yeah, so super excited about that. So I guess starting back with the delivery story, I guess I'll start from the very beginning. And as you can see, my hair looks atrocious. So I'm gonna be doing my hair in this video, and then the other videos I will go back to makeup. Salud, papi. You will also be hearing slash seeing me, salud, mothering with Joaquin. You might hear a little baby bum in the background. Salud. So, mommy life. Um, so yeah, I my due date when I first got pregnant, they told me that I should be due any day from October 30th to November 1st. So at first I was like, oh God, a Scorpio, because I'm an Aries, and Scorpios and Aries if you're into astrology. So I was just like, okay, well, if he has to be a Scorpio, please be born on Halloween. So every night I would pray to my ancestors and rub my belly and just try to manifest this Halloween baby. Um, and sure enough, at 2:36 in the morning, I got my Halloween baby. So I was in DC the week before my due date because I figured if I'm about to pop this baby out, it's gonna be a while before I get to do like much of anything. So I need to have fun. So my sibling, Kaya, is a student at Howard University. So that's my alma mater. And I figured, well, I haven't been to Howard Homecoming in 10 years. I should go. So we go to Howard Homecoming, just enjoying ourselves, like doing lots and lots of walking, which now I realize contributed to my delivery. But it was nice. We were on the yard. We saw Maya perform. It was the DJ. I finally went to my favorite Chinese restaurant. It's called Howard China, but we all call it Ho Chi. I was so happy to go there because they have this mambo sauce that's like, oh my god, it's the best. And I love mambo sauce. There's very, very few, if any. There's only one that I know in New York that have mambo sauce. So I was very surprised to find that in DC when I left home. So it was pretty fine. My friend is they are a dancer, so I was just like, well, before I leave DC, I want to see you perform. I go to their job, and of course, it looks weird. Like, what is this pregnant woman doing out like this? But I sat there, had my bottle of water, and while I'm sitting there, I'm just like, my stomach feels funny. It felt really tight, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I have gas, or I'm like, maybe I have to go number two. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna go in this club. Like, it's bad enough that I'm in a strip club when I'm almost 9 months pregnant, and then now I'm gonna go in there and blow up the bathroom. That's not cute. So I stood until they were on the stage. I watched them dance, and then I was like, great, now I can go. So I told them, I was like, I'm not really feeling too hot. I think I should just go back to your place, and I'll just wait for you to come back. So I leave, and I went to the bathroom. I laid down, just getting ready to go to sleep. I could not sleep a wink that night. This was the 27th, I believe, of October. So I just could not sleep, tossing and turning. My back was killing me. It's just so uncomfortable. Um, and then the next morning I woke up and I went to the bathroom and I saw blood in the toilet. And I was feeling a little discomfort, but I, for some reason, was like, is it my bladder? Like, I feel this discomfort, and like, is this my bladder, like, bothering me? So, I wasn't thinking anything of it. But then every time I went back to the bathroom, it was blood. So I was like, okay, this isn't normal. My mother was doing a tour and traveling across the country. So at this point, my mother was in California and was supposed to be coming in like a day or two to come back to Baltimore. And I didn't want to freak my mom out by saying, oh, I think I'm in labor or something's wrong with the baby. And my mom is literally on the opposite end of the country freaking out. So, anxiety runs in my family. I didn't want to be the one to be like, I'm making you go crazy for no reason, But we called Kaya's mother, Tarana, and we were just like, okay, you've given birth before. Can you give me any advice? Like, what do you think I should do? Tarana was just like, well, you shouldn't be bleeding, especially this late in the pregnancy. You should probably, like, call somebody. So I called my godmother, Kim, and I was just like, okay, this is happening, and I'm pretty nervous. What do you think I should do? She said, call your mother. And I was like, I don't want to make them nervous. And then she just was adamant, call your mother. So I called my mom, and then I called my midwife to let them know what was going on. And she was just like, okay, you need to come in immediately. So I'm in DC. I waited. My godmother was staying at my place because I was close to delivery. So she wanted to be close in case anything happened, with my mom being away. So she drove down to DC, picked me up, and then that's when I got some really good sleep, sleeping in that car going back home. And then we went to the hospital. They checked me in immediately. And also, I have to add, UMMC is an absolutely amazing hospital. Like, through and through, 5 stars, A++. I had such an amazing experience there. The staff, amazing. The nurses, amazing. Doctors, fantastic. Like, even down to the people serving the food. It was a fantastic experience for dealing with something so, like, rough. They made me feel very comfortable. They eased my worries. They were very sweet. Like, even to the point where one of the nurses, she dealt with chronic migraines just like my mother does. And she brought some tea and like a book and all types of stuff. Like, she was just super duper sweet. So I appreciate everyone on the staff at UMMC. Like, you guys are the bomb.com. Thank you for helping me and helping my son. Like, I could never repay you for anything that you've done. But, so we went there, and I went to a room where they went to check me because I told them I had bleeding, so they were like immediately like, okay, we gotta take her. I went and the doctor came in and checked my cervix, which any mother who is having a baby will tell you. The checking of the cervix is so fucking uncomfortable. To have somebody all up in there when you're already feeling pain and then pushing around and pressing to make sure it's soft enough that how much it's really opening, it's a lot. So they did that, and when I went to the hospital, they told me, "Oh, you're already 1.5 centimeters dilated," and I was like, "What?" Because I got a different view of the way delivery works because of movies and stuff. In my head, I figured, oh, like when it's a grand like entrance. You'll be somewhere, and then you're like, water breaks, and then oh my god, get to the hospital. Then you get to the hospital, baby's there. I never really had a full realistic explanation of what happens in the delivery room. Stop. You messed up the last video, please. So I was surprised, but then also like, okay, so that means, we're starting the show early. And that made me even more nervous because I'm like, damn, my mom is not going to be here. I'm like, so again, I'm like, please, please, please wait till my mom gets here. Wait till my mom gets here. Like I'm talking to my belly. And then I got my, ultrasound so they can check on the baby, make sure everything was okay. Everything was going good. And then from that point, I progressed pretty quickly. I went to, in a couple hours, 3 centimeters. And then after that, I went to 5. But I stood at 5 for a couple of days. So that was annoying. I'm constantly being checked and monitored, and there's no change. And I was having contractions pretty regularly, especially when this is a funny little bit of knowledge. When I was getting the sonogram, the doctor was like, oh, at first they kind of made me nervous, but then I was like, no. They were like, oh, we see a white mass in like the intestine area of your baby, and we don't know what that is. And since you've had all your like anatomy scans, since you're so late in pregnancy, like it's weird that something new is showing up. And in my head, as soon as I saw that, I was like, this baby's gonna take a big shit as soon as he's born. So they just kept monitoring, and his heart rate was good, his oxygen levels were good, I was good, so it wasn't anything to be too concerned about. So then I went to sleep. My godmother is taking turns coming back and going back to the house to walk our dogs. Then I fell asleep, and like the literal moment that my mother walked into the hospital room, I woke up and was so happy. I'm like, great, my mom is here, so whatever happens can happen now because mommy's here. So I was moved to the delivery room, and that's where I was for the rest of my stay there because I was having all these contractions I swear I felt like 30 seconds and was not dilating. So this is the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, like 3 days of just not dilating, being in so much pain. I tried to walk. I went into the shower. I used a medicine ball. I did everything that I learned in my Belly Buddies class. I had my doula there. Like, I did everything that they said because I wanted to have a natural birth. I didn't want to use the epidural. I wanted to just have a water birth and push, like, be squatting. They said I couldn't do the water birth, so I figured, okay, well, I can still squat and do it natural. That's still part of my birth plan. But as time went by, the pain was just completely unbearable. And before it was too late, I begged for the epidural. And I had a mini breakdown about it. I cried because I felt so bad. Like I let myself down, and I felt almost weak in a way. because I was like, I wanted to do this, drug free. I should be able to do this. Like comparison is a killer. And I'm comparing myself to, the mothers before me who, papi, te quiero leche. See? All right. So like, the women before me who've done it with nothing but like hot towels and stuff. So I compare myself to that and I'm like, I'm strong. I can do this too. I can do this too. But it was too much to be in that much pain. Like it got to the point where I started crying because the pain was so bad. And then I was like, fine, before it's too late, please give me this epidural. They gave me the epidural, and the second that they like hit that plunger, it was like my legs turned into jelly. And I was like, I get it now. I get why you women, ask, beg, scream for this epidural. So after that, it was much better. The pain still came here and there, but it was not nearly like once in a blue. Like if the epidural was kind of wearing off, then it would be like, oh, okay, the shit show again. But overall, it helped a lot, and that was the last night I got any decent sleep, being drugged up and knocked out. So yes, so waiting. His dad is there, my godmother is there, and my mother. So we're just waiting, watching crime shows because I am a big crime show buff. Yeah, baby. Excuse me. Lay down. There you go. So I'm a big crime show person. I will watch crime shows 24/7 and I will not get tired of it. Yes, I've seen almost everything, and no, I will never get bored. So it was, yeah, they gave me the last like extra dose on the 30th. They gave me my last like that extra plunger of epidural on the 30th. I completely passed out and I woke up, and then the doctor came in and she explained like I will be the delivering midwife and yada yada yada, just giving me the whole spiel. Then she's like, all right, so we're gonna check you, see how far along you are. And I'm like, all right, great. So she checks me and I'm still like yawning and everything because I just woke up from like the best sleep ever. And she was just like, oh, and jumped back. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, that's the head. You're about to have this baby right now. And I was like, holy shit. Like I just woke up and now you're telling me I have to like spread my legs and push out a human. So that was very, jarring. But, they got all the nurses in. Everybody was in their scrubs. They like disinfected themselves, put on their scrubs. They put the lights on. I had my legs in the stirrups. And that's when I started to get really nervous. I was like, oh my God, this is actually going to happen. What is it going to feel like? What's going to happen? Like, anyone who knows me personally knows that I've always said that giving birth is like the scariest thing that I can imagine. I just the thought of like pushing something that big through my vagina, like everything about it terrified me. But my mom was holding one leg, Joaquin's dad had the other leg, my godmother had the camcorder, and I started to push. And 5-10 minutes later, he came out clean as a whistle, and we did skin to skin, and he just was sucking on his fingers, and he held my hand, and I just cried and cried and cried because I was so happy, and I was just like, mommy, look at my baby. Like, so it was a long, painful experience, but I got my baby. He's healthy. and he's born on Halloween. And then, you know, everything was good, and then he got sick, and I was just so stressed. It's like it's so hard to produce breast milk when you're under a lot of stress. Stress is not good for, because they have this hormone, I guess, or system that your body has in place, and they call it the letdown. And that's when your body relaxes you enough so the breast milk can flow. Believe me, the first couple of times that I breastfed, I almost dropped him because I was just passing out, nodding off. Um, then, yeah, after we finally got discharged, because we had to go to a second hospital because for the last week of his antibiotics, they were just like, well, since he's like out of the red and it's just him finishing up medicine, you know, you can go to this other smaller hospital. So we went to that hospital. The hospital was good too, but they could have accommodated families a lot better because I had to sleep on like a couch. They didn't even have like a bed for me, and then my mom was staying with me, and then my mom had to stay in some like small little room, but then be out of the room by 8 a.m. and it was ridiculous. But you know, the staff was good. My baby was taken care of. The lactation experts were good, and as you can see, my baby is a healthy, chunky little potato. Um, yeah, so I had a rough start, and I'm just still exhausted. I'm still very, very much exhausted. Um, Going straight from, you know, working full time while pregnant, you know, then giving birth, then being in the hospital for a month, and then coming right out to shoot right up into motherhood. Um, and I'm doing this mainly alone. You know, like I have my mom and stuff. His dad does what he does, but I'm basically doing it alone in a new state. So, you know, what comes with that is like the isolation, the sadness, the loneliness, just so many feelings come with it. And I was struggling with that for a while. I pushed myself and I made mom friends. I joined all these groups. I've been really pushing myself and fighting against my urge to just be inside all the time and, you know, be introverted and a homebody. So now I have to switch up the whole game for him, which is not like, I'm not saying it in a like a resentful tone. It's just, you know, change is never comfortable. So now I'm having to be outside more and be active and do this, especially now that he's trying to walk, he's trying to talk, he, you know, like he's growing so fast and he's so smart. So he has to be stimulated. He needs a lot of attention and activity. So, you know, when you have such a tall order, it can get rough. Raising a child is not an easy thing. Um, it's rewarding in its own way. It's a thankless job, but the reward is the sweet moments you have, the way that your child looks at you just full of love and just like you are their world. Just feeling needed, just everything. Like it's so beautiful, but a lot of there's a lot of hardships that come with it and a lot of stuff that women, especially black women, don't get to talk about because, you know, in this country especially, it's notorious that whenever a black woman expresses any type of emotion, it's seen as anger, as attitude, as aggressiveness, as rage. And I'm trying to change that narrative. Even still, like, we have every right on this goddamn planet to be rageful, to be angry, to have an attitude. But that's not what this is. This is intrusive thoughts. This is sadness. This is loneliness. This is depression. This is resentment. And most of all, it's guilt. The guilt, the guilt, the guilt. The guilt for feeling your feelings. The guilt for having your thoughts. The guilt for not wanting to do anything because you're so depressed. Like, just the guilt, the guilt, the guilt. It's rough. It really is. So I've been, you know, having issues with postpartum depression recently. I thought I had, because I have regular depression and anxiety, and I thought that I had everything under control. Everything seemed like it was fine, but obviously it wasn't. And it hit me like a truck, and I was like, wow, I don't feel good. I'm not happy. This is, I don't, like, something's wrong with me. So I reached out to friends. Some of my friends helped connect me with other moms who's dealt with this. I'm a part of mom groups, and I talk to my mom as well. And it's been helping a lot. I'm so grateful to the mom community that I'm a part of. Um, but I wanted to do something for myself as well, because I have to be proactive and, you know, yes, and progressive in my own mental health. So this is me trying to take charge and find different outlets, because that's my thing now, is finding healthier outlets for my depression that are not self-destructive, that aren't harmful to others around me. So doing my hair and makeup doesn't hurt anybody, and it's something that I really enjoy, and it makes me happy. So this is why I'm doing my 31 days of battling depression. So I hope that you guys take this journey with me and you enjoy the videos. But most of all, I thank you for watching, if you're watching. But this is mainly for me. So the number of followers and views are not the goal, but it's nice to see that people are listening, and or that you guys feel the same way. So the next episode I do, probably when I do my makeup look tonight, I might, depending on how this guy is, I might do makeup and a vlog at the same time, and then I can talk more about the feelings and the thoughts that I have had with this postpartum depression. But thank you for listening, and have a great day. Joaquin, say bye bye. Bye bye.